2 episodes ago, I found a bridge covered in gas, and in the last episode, I got a gas mask. Also, just so I could end up here in this episode, because my main goal is to get Versailles for the rocket. I already found the first two, so I am going to look for the others. Okay, I already headed to a new region, and a new goal immediately appears there. Just find a park and get Sledgehammer. It sounded trampoline, so I went. But over time I paid for it, because this is a city and it's absolutely crawling with zombies. The only hope was a building that didn't always help, because I couldn't reach everyone, so I urgently needed to get to the tower to set up a deadly transmission. After having a snack, I do another sprint, and almost there from turrets and zombies, so I had to hide in the buildings again. Okay, so I'll just have to make my way between the buildings and some time cross the road, and that was right, because at this pace I reached the communication tower and still installing the modification. But while planning the road to the park, I noticed a depot where I need to find paths, so my plans changed a bit. I found the first clue without any problems, but for the second one I had to pass by the park, which was completely protected by turrets, which I broke with knives. But still I only reached the second one through my corpse, although in fact I could have entered from the other side. After a successful revenge, all I have to do is find the details at one of these points. If so, it's already the 10th day, and I already came a long way. When I arrived at the first point, there was a person there, but it was empty. However, to the second point was no useless, so after that I continued to get a sledgehammer. When I arrived at the park, the goal was actually a little further away. When I still arrived there, I needed to find a cure, but that also was easy. After completing it, I opened the exit, where I met the boss at his dark side. Essentially, it was also a more advanced version of the past, but no less deadly. So I cleared a quickly path to it, and also upgraded a mina, hoping that it would work. The smaller one filled without problems, but for the larger one was simply stunned by a mina. Okay, thank for the easier thing. On the way back I leveled up, from which I reached, you will never believe it, a rifle. These two things only require lumber, but the benefits from them will be limitless. Okay, I am going back to the train and racing for nuclear winter conditions, so I don't turn into an icicle. The road was fun, even though it led one way. Okay, arriving at the location, I again need to run through the queue. But instead, I set a goal to collect the mana bits for the teleportation. The first thing I did was to go to the tower to install a deadly transmission to collect mana bits. And I decided to collect it in another path of the region to open the bridge at the same time. At the same time I entered one of the houses, where I immediately shot myself. Okay, I'll go through the wall, although it seemed to me that there would be something more valuable here, since there was a turret here. Okay, I opened the bridge on the other side to install the modification as well. Now I had enough mana, so while it was melting I went to another tower. The path was easy, so by turning it on I also finished a new level, with which I got an interesting machine. That disassemble materials into components, which produced more than one created. Mana could also be the fuel. But I only now remembered that I could have slept through it all. So I still was able to craft a teleporter, although it yet had a modification. The teleporter considers that Tabula Rasa territory as home, so it would only transport me here. Okay, I continued searching for the key. When I got to the place, I died again, so life doesn't touch me anything at all. After improving a bit, I came back with the idea of just throwing grenades at him. Yes, everything is packed in explosive right here. Only instead of key, I found a map of the same area where I was. So I hope you to know in the cell building I robbed, cause I probably destroyed the place turnkey. But first I blew up the barrels. The first 2 points had small houses, the first had lumber, and the second had rice, which I had not seen before. The big house only happy with the recipe and zombie with diarrhea, but there was still no key. Another house and again empty, it is really the same one. Also there was a question mark, but it was just an anomaly. So when I turned her, I almost peed in my pants. But I still found the key. Okay, now I'll stop at the nearest bonfire to finally craft a rifle. The rifle was cool, but it didn't do enough damage. So I teleported home to craft materials. Yeah, I literally have 0 bullets. Okay, I started cutting down all the trees in the radius and recrafted it. But that wasn't enough, so I was destroyed wooden houses. If so, I couldn't handle all the trees, even thought my axe was at maximum level. Although I couldn't skip production, but I still upgraded the rifle. Okay, so I opened the gate and went there. In conclusion, I came to such a big hole that I even started hallucinating. As I went by, I said I went by it, I came to an area with a bunch of turrets, and the rifle performed perfectly against them. After breaking turrets and killing zombies, I reached some laboratory where I crafted a slow time device. Honestly, it's absolute scrap. There was a lot of steel in this building, which I really needed, but here's the bug now. I died on the turret, and while trying to shorten the path, I died again, so I lost everything I had. Good, since there was some stuff left here, which was just enough for the rifle. But then I met a rocket launcher, which I successfully shelling. But it still hits. Wow, you're weakling. Okay, there's nothing else to do here, so I went to the base to collect materials and level up the sledgehammer. So now it's better than the wrench, so the next thing I'll do is collecting mana for it. Which I'll be collecting in the new region. Upon reaching the exit, I need some electrical scrap. Okay, I'll pick it up nearby. Next, I came across an intersection, so I had a choice, go south or west to the tower. But I didn't really have a choice, so I reached the next campfire, near which I came across an interesting quest. So, having prepared my equipment, I started a fight that looked like football. On instead of the ball, there were zombies' heads. But still the rifle was better. Also, a regular zombie can be killed with anything. Okay, after finishing the quest, I upgraded the sledgehammer, which could now break cars, so there won't be any problem with scrap metal. On the way further, beside the zombies, sudden turrets, and my schizophrenia, I met 2 quests that were already starting to annoy me. So I skipped on them and ran straight to the communication tower, almost falling on the way, but still I turned it on, and at the same time scanned the hint for one of the quests. At this stage I had already stopped sparing Sphere for tower modification, and also accidentally learned that the sledgehammer can break stone walls. Okay, next I still with one of the quests and decided to complete it, because it was nearby. Upon arriving on the place, I also tested one artifact which works 100%. Over time, I reached one area that was fully filled with the strongest zombies, so the result was obvious: Vice. So I understood mistakes and decided to man the room right away. That helped me reach the last platform. where I immediately cleared the passage and looted the platform, but the quest was still hanging, so after running another lap, I was finally able to find the reward, which was double, also forgotten. Okay, next, I even prepared a military helmet to head to the next fuel cell. Although the fuel cell is close on the map, but it is actually a long road, on which I stopped at up to 3 bonfire, passing through a couple of turrets in -40. Plus fighting all zombies along the way. But this was only in order to turn on the tower, being already at -50 degrees. But besides, this is only half the way, so I was gonna play with zombies again. And in the end, I made a circle around the fuel cell, because I accidentally bypassed the entrance. Okay, since I'm here, I'll complete this quest. In this phase, I just need to find the numbers for the code, but after searching all the shelves, I didn't find everything. So in despair, I returned to the fire, but there I remembered myself why I was here. So I went to check again, and fortunately, all the shells was renewed. So the code was collecting, and in the backyard, I received a reward. But I was hoping for the best. Okay, I back to fuel cell, killing zombies along the way, and also die like a mouse in mouse trap. At this phase I reached the bonfire in front of the boss, but as I understood himself the boss is underwater. So my goal will to be lower the water from the dam, which requires a key, and as usual it will be at the edge of the world. And this is already infuriating. Because why are the key always at the edge of the world? We locate another room, but seriously in the house on other side of the lake. Why did someone need to take it home? Okay, I have the key, so I turned off the water, now it's up to the boss. So I opened a shorter path and go into battle. But will I be able to defeat him? You will see in the next episode.